Well, this comes right out of our real estate playbook. As the nation continues to clean up the mortgage meltdown mess, California's been hit the worst. Home sales in Southern Cal were at a 20-year low last month, and it's expected to get worse all over the nation. But could the housing bust out west ultimately turn out to be a big boost to the economy? Here to explain, our real estate analyst, Dr. Dani Babb. Great to see you, Dani.
Good to see you, too.
Now, tell us, first of all, how bad it is in California.
You know, it's been holding pretty steady the last 6 months in California, but what we are seeing is it's starting to move to the high-priced homes, and it's moving to the coastal communities, which is a new phenomenon for us in the last 60 days.
And is it spreading beyond coastal? I mean, the coastal homes, correct me if I'm wrong, but anybody who's got a coastal view is a pretty ritzy person. That's not the mid-size. That's at the top of the food chain, right?
Well, it tends to be $900,000 plus on the coast. There are some areas you can get a slightly lower price, but the problem exists in Northern California, where we have not seen it before, in Silicon Valley when prices rose dramatically. It's a really big problem in San Diego, and Los Angeles County is getting a brunt of the problem as well.
Is it moving to the middle class as well, Dani?
It is. It's moving to the middle class. We have a lot of people whose mortgages are adjusting annually. If you got an adjustable rate mortgage, we commonly refer to them as ARMs. What happens is the mortgage will adjust one time per year. That can happen for anywhere between 3 and 5 years. So people who purchased their homes in the last 3 to 5 years may not have seen the maximum increase. Also, payment caps have been in play for the last 3 to 5 years. So even though your rate may have adjusted substantially more, your payment cap kicks in, which keeps your payments lower. So I don't think we've begun to really understand or see how many people this is going to affect, and we're not going to know for the next year or two.
Now, here's the good news. A vibrant community needs young folks who are just starting out to come in and buy real estate. Those folks had been priced out of the California market. Perhaps, and this is maybe looking for a silver lining here, but perhaps now, because real estate prices are so low, we may get a new boost of that young entrepreneurial spirit that cities and particularly a place like California needs.
Yeah, there are some fantastic programs coming out with lenders for first-time home buyers, which traditionally for the last 5 years have been priced out of California market, the New York market, Florida, Arizona, Nevada, where prices have now come down substantially. We have seen incredibly low prices out here. There are a lot of individuals, within my own family. My brother, for example, I'm helping him buy his very first home, and he was priced out of the market. He's now getting a home that was worth $500,000 2 years ago for $250,000 today in San Diego County. Wow. So there are opportunities, big opportunities.
And we should mention, California has been in an economic boom for the past 60 years, but the recent economic boom that went up along with those housing prices was so concentrated in your field, in the field of real estate, that perhaps the wealth wasn't being spread. Is it fair to say?
Yeah, well, I'm not so sure about that. We had a lot of people that were, although they were priced out of the market, they got creative with their loans. Lenders were offering to subprime borrowers. They were offering stated income loans. They were offering loans to people who did not necessarily qualify for a completely fully amortized loan. So there were a lot of people getting into the market in the last 5 years that didn't have an opportunity before, even with the increased price.
Understood.
And a lot of those people they've been able to retain some of their equity too. So when I'm going to start worrying when I see discretionary spending drop. Until that happens, it looks positive to me.
But Dani, my good buddy Joel Cocken, who's done a lot of research in housing trends in California, says that the economic boom in California, in which half of the new jobs were tied to the real estate industry in one way or the other, half of the new jobs in the past 5 years, that's not a good thing. That's kind of a dangerous thing to have that concentration, and now it'll be dispersed a bit.
Okay, that is true. However, I can say that the technology sector, which is also very strong in California, is in a hiring frenzy right now. And those jobs, a lot of those jobs are actually being recreated back in Northern California, which also will in turn re-stimulate their real estate economy.
By the way, the other thing that Joel points out is that the real estate market in California, like everywhere else, has collapsed before. We always see these roller coaster rides. In the early 1990s, it collapsed. How did you come out of it then?
Well, we came out of it then by keeping jobs strong, by making sure people were employed, by lenders helping individuals find creative ways to maintain their home over a few-year period, just to ride out the drop. And also, we see a lot of homeowners now choosing to move to an apartment and rent out their home that they can't afford, let somebody move into it who can afford it, and then ride out the market that way as well.
Very interesting. By the way, you wrote the book on foreclosures, how to make money from foreclosures and everything. If somebody's buying a foreclosed or a house that is going through foreclosure, is there a way to let the people who thought that they'd bought the house but couldn't afford it stay there for a while and rent for a while so that you can eventually move in but not right away?
Yeah, I'm actually doing that right now with a home that I purchased in Riverside County. An individual who's unable to keep his home. I've purchased the home from him, and I'm just going to let him live there for the first couple of months rent-free, and then after that, I'll charge him a limited rental amount until he can get back on his feet. And then at some point, he can even rebuy the home back from me if he wishes to do that. It doesn't have to be a win-lose situation, and it shouldn't be.
Yeah, we don't want to look at the picture through rose-colored glasses, but at the same time, you can make a good deal out of a bad situation like a foreclosure if you do it the way Dani Babb does. Thank you so much for coming in, Dani. Great to see you again.
Thank you.
All right,
too.
on deck, Cruz and Vaughn. Would you buy them? Would you sell them? Or would you hold them? When Scoreboard continues.